What's up, my beautiful people? This is your boy Stefan, your Afro-Grenadian ambassador. I welcome you back to my channel. My subscribers, viewers, channel members, thank you very much. And don't forget to watch all the ads that are placed on my videos. In this video, my friends, we have the Prime Minister of Barbados, Motley, giving the CARICOM leaders some strict warning and also encouragement and also rebukes. That we need to start coming together. We need to stop talking and stop having all these meetings and start coming together and boots on the ground, boots on the ground, living up to the name CARICOM. Well, let's take a listen and we will come back and discuss all about it.
We need to recognize that if there is going to be a move away from global trade and globalization generally, then there ought to be a recognition that regional blocs will take on more and more prominence. And it is against that backdrop, therefore, that the commitment to this thing called CARICOM is absolutely and utterly important for us as a region. It has not escaped me that after the demise of the Federation and as a transition from CARIFTA, it was Michael Manley who in 1973, then having not been a part of CARIFTA in the 1960s when Antigua, Guyana, Barbados and Trinidad signed the Free Trade Agreement, that it was Michael Manley who brought Jamaica into the Caribbean community with respect to the Treaty of Chaguaramas on the 4th of July 1973. In reading the book again, I was reminded of the fact that that date also had more significance because it was the birthday of his father, Norman Washington Manley, for whom the other heads of government felt there ought to have been some privilege accorded to him for his successful relationship with the Montego Bay Conference of 1948, which is seen as really the forerunner of the early days of integration in this our Caribbean community. But what would love look like today? Love for him was coming together to carry on through a market that was bigger than Jamaica in the form of the Caribbean community, which was initially started as a free movement of goods, an area in which the free movement of goods would be started. But what does love look like today? We've added since then security as a fourth pillar. And we did that coming out of Cricket World Cup when we realized, and Peter, I accord the tribute to you. We worked together then to prepare the region for security cooperation at a level never seen before in the independence movement of our region. And that led to security becoming the fourth pillar of the Caribbean community. Today, however, there is still work to be done. But it will require a mindset change. That is recognizing that only in solidarity will we command the power and capacity in this new world that is unfolding. We don't know what it will look like. Only in coming together will we give ourselves the best possible chance to fight not only the climate crisis, but the international economic instability that is coming as a result of the many other polycrises. That during the pandemic, we learned the hard way that when no one would even look upon us to offer us a ventilator or vaccines or anything, because it was the wild, wild, wild west, quite frankly. When no one would do it, the African Union and the Afro-Exim Bank stood up to the plate. And I remember chairing CARICOM as I was then, working with them to ensure that a country as small as St. Kitts and Nevis could secure access to therapeutics, vaccines, and equipment at the same price as a country as large as Nigeria. I believe, therefore, that the concept of pooling, which is really a relation to functional cooperation, has to be embraced more vigorously by this Caribbean community, and that there are a number of common problems that most of us face. All of our countries, with the exception of Haiti, are underpopulated, declining and aging populations. In Barbados' case, 1 in every 2 people predicted by ECLAT will be over the age of 65 by the year 2050. Unsustainable. In the case of Trinidad and Jamaica, it is expected to be between 37 and 39% for the 2 countries. Unsustainable. And this is one area in which the region ought to be coming together to make collective decisions, because without people, you cannot sustain the level of growth that is necessary for us to adapt and to build resilience in this fight against the climate crisis that is going to take more and more lives and livelihoods away from us. And we will have to find tactical ways of dealing with it, but I have a very simple approach, that if we are going to say that you can't speak to one and you can't speak to another, then let it apply to all countries of the world. But to the last time I checked, everybody who is a mighty power speaks to everybody, even when they are at war. And therefore, the Caribbean region must retain its options always to maintain communication and to find the best opportunities for our development, because no one is giving us anything to help ourselves. And if we don't understand that it is self-reliance to build resilience, then we better wake up and smell the coffee fast, because that is going to be the only way.
And so look, these are some things I've kept on saying on this channel time and time again, over and over again. Self-reliance, self-sufficiency depends on us. We cannot continue waiting on the West and Europe for help. You know, all the help, look at it, my brothers and sisters. All the aid and the help that we have been getting from Western countries and Europe and other developed countries, where have we been since? Are we in a position where we can say, okay, you know, we are now able to sustain ourselves as a Caribbean region? We don't necessarily depend too much on outside help. Have it brought down the poverty level that exists in the Caribbean? You know, have it brought down the begging mentality that we have when we always go in and beg MIF and all these banks for loans and grants? You know, are we in a better position where we have, you know, things in place where we can generate income, where we can, you know, freely move between each other, trade between each other, without depending on outside help? That if a natural disaster strikes again, a hurricane, an earthquake, or whatever strike again, we don't really need to look to England, America, Canada for finances to help us rebuild. But as a Caribbean community, we have what it takes to rebuild ourselves. Have this put us in a better situation? Can we say this about ourselves today? And the answer to this question is a resounding no. So as the Prime Minister Motley says, it is us to develop ourselves. The West and Europe will not do it for us. You know, they will continue doing things in a way where we would always coming back and begging and relying upon them, because they want us to continue relying upon them. They don't want us to be free and be independent and, you know, and all of these things. And another thing that, you know, Mia Motley said, which I deem is, you know, it is very true, is that if there isn't a time like now, all right, now is the time. If there isn't a time, now is the time for us to come together as in unity, in togetherness, right? Because this is the key. This is the key in us moving forward as a Caribbean nation. I think sometimes we spend, you know, we invest much of our time in useless arguments, you know, stupid things. Who could cook better than who could, you know, who Caribbean island is better than who, and that will not get us anywhere. That will not get us anywhere. And so One of the things I saw this week is African Tigress. Now, African Tigress is a Kenyan YouTuber. Many of you might know her. She has spent a great deal amount of time in the Caribbean, and she continued to do so. And a question was asked to her: what is your favorite Caribbean island? Many people thought she would have said Trinidad, because she always big up Trinidad. She always spend time in Trinidad. But her response was, it is hard to tell. I cannot give you an answer, because each Caribbean island has something unique to offer. And that was a brilliant question, brilliant answer, genius on her part. So we have to, brothers and sisters, be very confident in who we are. Look what the Prime Minister said. During the pandemic time, and I am surprised to know that, I didn't know that. During the pandemic time, COVID-19, a lot of the Western countries and Europe, who we have deep relationship with, America, Canada, UK, they have a deep connection, deep relationship with the Caribbean. But they did not help us the way that we needed help. As Prime Minister Motley says, something like a ventilator, vaccines, we were struggling to get from them. But who stepped up to the plate? The African Union. And that makes me proud. That is why I will continue to advocate for straight flights. I will continue to fly the flag of Pan-Africanism. I will continue to promote Mama Africa. I don't care what people say. I will continue to talk good and promote unity between the Caribbean and Mama Africa, because it is Mama Africa who stepped up to the plate. Countries like Nigeria, countries like Ghana, countries like South Africa. These are the kind of countries that stepped up to the plate and helped us get vaccines and ventilators and all of these things. So we have to, brothers and sisters, move away from this crab in a barrel mentality, and this we really have to break free from this dependency, this colonial dependency, that if America do not come to our aid, UK do not come to our aid, Canada do not come to our aid, we are doomed. We cannot make it. No, that's not the way to go, because we have potential. We have to be, as I said, be confident in who we are as Caribbean islands and Caribbean nations. Do not let our size, or do not let people underestimate our size. Because we are small in size, we are not capable of doing that. Look what the Prime Minister of Motley said. St. Kitts, who is very, very small in size, they were able to secure a deal when in the pandemic time, when it comes to vaccines, at the same price like Nigeria. And Nigeria is about 4 times, 5 times bigger than St. Kitts. If you put St. Kitts in Nigeria, St. Kitts might fit in Nigeria about 10 times and more. But St. Kitts and Nevis were able, as small as they were as a nation, they were able to secure a deal that did not put them in national debt, but something that they were in a position to help the people. So as much as we are small, we are capable to make a big impact on the world stage. We are capable to be so self-reliant and self-sufficient. We have to move away from this thing, because you small, Grenada is small, St. Vincent is small, you will need the help of the West and Europe in order for you to get to go where you want to go. And that is a lie. That is a lie. And so, I really concur with Mia Motley. Usually when she speaks, it is hard truth. She speaks, from the heart. She speaks reality. Nothing fictional. She speaks reality. And as a Caribbean community, I want to concur with her that togetherness and self-sufficiency is the key to a better future and becoming one with Mama Africa. It is time, I believe, most of our leaders, it is time for us to, we need to spend more time putting boots on the ground. Action. We need action. And less of the beautiful speeches, because talk is cheap. We need action. I I'm still longing to see the day all of these things that me and Motley are speaking about is being implemented by our Caribbean leaders, because me and Motley cannot do it on our own. Me and Motley recognized that these Western countries want to use her, and she backed off very early, and she realized, hey, we need to come together as a Caribbean people. We need to focus. We need to connect with our brothers and sisters on the motherland in order for us to have a brighter future. Because as we can see, in this kind of time now, it's a wild, wild west out there. Not only in the pandemic time now, even now, it's a wild, wild west. Each country is now catering about their people. And when I'm talking about each country, I'm talking about the developed nations. They are now catering about themselves. It is themselves they're studying. So where this leaves us? This leaves us in a vulnerable position. And in order we break free, until we break free from this dependency attitude, we will continue to be in a vulnerable position and in a very, very, very dangerous position, so to speak. So my people, my viewers, my subscribers, every one of you, thank you for listening. God bless you. Until next time in the upcoming videos.